Who will you become? We've all been asked the question, probably since we were little kids. What are you going to be when you grow up? Maybe you wanted to be a cowboy, or a princess, or a dragon slayer, or some combination of all three. Figuring out what you want to do with your life is no small consideration. As you got a bit older, maybe the question turned more serious. Did mom or dad, maybe a bit agitated, ever ask, just what are you planning to do with the rest of your life? Maybe you tried to reason that turning pro in Minecraft did seem like a good option, but you're even older now, not ready to retire from Xbox, but full grown, if not necessarily grown up. I'll ask again, what do you want to do with your life? You'll always be you, but who do you want to become? Ever picture you in 25 years? What's that kid going to look like? By now, you've strolled through a few campuses, you've heard a presidential pitch or two, you may have even run a few academic programs up the flagpole. And that brings you to Central Michigan University today. So welcome. Take a deep breath. You don't have to figure out the rest of your life right now. I want to tell you about CMU's College of Education and Human Services. I'm Jimmy Noose, by the way, a junior majoring in special education. Education and Human Services. You can say it with me. Education and Human Services. It does sound heady, but let's break it down. Our college is made up of 5 departments, which offer a ton of academic program options that will help you along your chosen path. Don't worry about all the names just yet, but there might be an acronym quiz in 12 minutes. Dr. Dale, our dean, she answers to Dr. Dale, describes this college as a two-sided house. The education side was built first. CMU has been teaching teachers since it was founded in 1892. We have 3 education departments, starting with teacher education and professional development. Our TEPD faculty help turn dedicated students into elementary school legends, middle school maestros, and high school heroes. Just half a decade away from your own high school days. Think about it. What makes a teacher great? You might email your grade school favorite for advice. I bet he or she might tell you it's the toughest job you could ever love. If you have a heart for special education, you found your home at CMU. Our Department of Counseling and Special Education gives you in and out of class opportunities to make a positive difference in the lives of kids and young adults with special needs. The third option is the Department of Educational Leadership, which you can think about for your graduate degree. As you might suspect, the Human Services side of the house focuses on the good work you can do for your fellow Homo sapiens. That's humans if you don't speak Latin. It's a bit tricky here, but stay with me. Maybe think of Human Services as great training ground in several fields with the underlying intention of making life better. The Department of Human Environmental Studies is made up of 4 program areas. Called Home Economics way back when, HEV now houses apparel merchandising and design, foods and nutrition, interior design, and human development and family studies. AMD students study on the cutting edge of fashion and design in Michigan's top-ranked program. This is more than an eye for what to wear. These students are schooled in a high-tech sophistication that can make your head spin, and they're designing for the real world and the big stage. Not just everyday clothes, but also protective combat gear for soldiers, uniforms for professional baseball and hockey teams, and costumes for concert artists. Each spring, designers showcase their work in Threads, CMU's premier fashion runway event. Foods and nutrition students might try to convince you that you actually are what you eat, and at this moment, I'm wondering why I don't look more like a bean burrito. Actually, these students, who may work in a variety of settings such as hospitals, schools, and long-term care facilities, are teaching us a better way through food. Their practical applications put people on a healthier path. Your parents might want to hire one of our interior design students after you vacate your room at home. These are those creative people who can envision better workspaces and homes long before looking at a paint swatch. And we put them to work straight away. Interior design students have helped to both reimagine and reinvent the space around our own EHS building and other buildings on campus. But maybe you're a people person. When it comes right down to it, aren't we all people? HDFS students develop the expertise to help people spanning the human spectrum, from those little dragon slayers to elderly Xbox players. Early childhood development and learning students know how critical learning is in the first few years of life. You can also minor in gerontology, enhancing many chosen majors in EHS and across the university. The other part of the Human Services equation is the Department of Recreation, Parks, and Leisure Services Administration, which resides in historic Finch Fieldhouse. If the thought of an office job gives you the heebie-jeebies, you might consider the RPL programs that could lead to careers in the great outdoors, or the literal hands-on work in helping people heal, or running the show behind the show in concert halls and sports arenas. Students in one of CMU's newest majors, Recreation and Event Management, are training for jobs in a field expected to grow 44% by 2020. Who needs 20/20 hindsight when you can look forward to that future? REM students get a taste of the real world through internships and managing campus events. They run the Gus Macker basketball tournament here on campus, where the real Gus Macker went to school. Some work behind scenes at the Boston Marathon, others go to the Cannes Film Festival. Some people say Cannes, I'm not quite sure. If you wrap your mind around the therapeutic recreation program, you're really thinking ahead. With the number of certified professionals leading you towards certification, CMU boasts one of the top programs in the nation, and your internship experiences at hospitals and rehabilitation centers practically guarantees you gainful employment. And if you don't want an office wall within 10 miles of you, jump into outdoor and environmental recreation. Internships at national parks, camps, and adventure programs prepare you for work that involves other people's recreational activities. We place outdoor rec students all over too. CMU has more students participate in the Disney College program than any other university. Keep your ears open for that one. That's us in a nutshell, the College of Education and Human Services, EHS for short. And maybe that's all good, but we started talking about your life here. What's it got to do with you and who you might become? That's up to you. The common denominator in this two-sided house is that we're all about everyday life. We are about a working life in progress where we try to get better each and every day. We are what you eat, what you wear, and the relationships you share. We're adamant about learning how to better educate kids, always have been. Whether you become an educator or a human services practitioner, your job is about making life, every last minute of it, more meaningful. Sound fulfilling? It should. It's fun too. So where do you go from here? There are challenges ahead, regardless of your chosen EHS major. We don't just give diplomas away. But here's what your next 4 years could look like. Think team. Lots of group work and the applied learning that goes along with your classroom work. Your learning soars beyond the classrooms here. EHS has more study abroad students than any other college at CMU. Internships, student teaching experiences, and service learning trips could take you all over the globe. But you've also got terrific opportunities on campus and in the community to broaden your learning horizons. Do your required fieldwork in our renowned child development and learning laboratory and try not to be awed by a 4-year-old's worldview. Join one of the gerontology clubs and teach an older person how to use an iPad. She'll enjoy your company, but I guarantee you'll get more out of it. There are literally hundreds of student organizations you can join on campus. All lead to friendships and great experiences that prepare you for life after college. You might consider the EHS Residential College, which allows you to live and learn alongside like-minded students. EHS is such a great place to find your way, to become a grown-up, a leader really. It's a launching pad for visionaries, teachers, designers, outdoor enthusiasts, and world shakers. Any of those resemble you? Who knows? You might even surprise yourself. So ask us questions. Our students, faculty, and staff are happy to tell you about life on campus, and some of the stars that have ascended from it. Then put your best foot forward. From CMU through one of the many programs in EHS, you're on the road to discovering who you're supposed to be. No telling who he or she is now. I suspect you'll be fine. I hope you'll be great. And maybe that greatness, that ultimate you, starts today in the College of Education and Human Services at Central Michigan University, a place where you'll live, learn, and lead. I can honestly tell you I'm finding my way here, but don't just take it from my stick-figured friends and me. Here's a short video about how a handful of EHS students are preparing for their futures.
Kids are important. We've heard it time and time again. They are our future. We want to promote their interests and their creativity so they can set the future path for us.
Going through college and seeing some people that don't have the ability to do things that we naturally do every single day and oftentimes take for granted, that hit me hard, and I wanted to help people get back to doing the things that they wanted to do before.
Interior design is not about picking pretty colors or pretty pillows and putting them on a sofa. It's about an awareness of how an interior environment affects you, affects the people who are in it, who are using that environment.
I think CMU is unique in the sense of community it can offer. If you're connected to different people and have those opportunities, you can excel and do a lot of things that at other universities you may not have the opportunity to do. I've always said that at CMU, from my specific instance, I feel like it's the big university with that small feel. And I really feel like I'm more than just a number, but I have enough resources, mentors, connections to do some pretty cool things. So I feel more than adequately prepared and ready to venture into my career.
CMU has all the materials, we have great programs, we have amazing professors who care about you, who know your design, the way you design, what your concept as a designer is, and they do a really good job of leading you. I've never had professors who care about you as much as I've had here at CMU.
We do things in class, we do things out of class. And that's the thing, is you actually want to do the volunteer opportunities because they're awesome. Like, for example, this is my 3rd semester doing wheelchair yoga. It's something I've never even heard of before I got into this department, and that's another example of seeing someone just be filled with joy because they get to participate in yoga.
I've had several different teachers in the apparel merchandising and design department, and I love each and every single one of them. They're always super friendly and willing to help you. Even after hours, a lot of the teachers stay to help their class out, whether it be CAD or sewing classes, or even if you have questions about the history of fashion or anything like that.
Knowing that I wanted to work with students, knowing that I wanted to one day do leadership development and college access, CMU gave me a plethora of opportunity to get involved, period. I was able to apply a lot of the concepts, theories, or discussions I had in class in real-world activity. It put me in different environments to quote-unquote fail, but do so safely and learn from those mistakes maybe. And then next time I attempted something, I was able to apply what I had learned and grow from those experiences.
If you really understand what leadership is, it is something that can complement every discipline because it is about you as a person and understanding how to shape and plan and have a vision for what type of change you want to orchestrate and being able to manage the process to get to that change and represent what that change means.
I started to realize I'm in the right field at this internship. None of the classroom settings really make you realize you're in the right place, and it's until you get out there and experience what it's really like. You know, the experiences are just communicating with the patients. You know, I realized that waking up, being there, talk with patients, going on out trips, getting them out of their room, visiting them, and realizing that they actually want to spend time with you, and you know, that's the most rewarding thing about this job.
What truly excites me is having children learn something new, or that moment where they realize something is new or something, they're learning something without even knowing it. They're playing, they're engaged, they're interacting. It's that learning, that light bulb moment that really strikes me as this is where I need to be and why I want to do what I want to do.
Central is the right place for me because it is a big university, and I do get to integrate with other students that have the business major or science major or something that's not so artsy, so I can get like the full aspect of like a whole university.
When you produce students and give them learning opportunities in which they can go out into the world and make a contribution, you've already affected the larger citizenry of the United States and beyond. So therefore, they're taking a whole different perspective about who they are as persons and what they have to contribute, as well as the legacy of the institution forward, and then hopefully that completes the circle and it gives back to the institution and gives other opportunities to future students.